The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. As we jump into the NQ and we look at what's happening here on the Nasdaq, the first thing to talk about is that you're breaking back below your previous highs, 18,707, and that was the area that we were concerned about going into today. And if you look here, you're actually flipping underneath it as well. GDP wasn't that big of a shocker, more of just at expectations and more comments from the overall Fed. But again, tomorrow will be, in my opinion, Judgment Day. If we really look what's happening here again tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, an hour before market open, 7:30 Central for me. We have core PCE, and the Fed does consider this to be the most important inflation measure that's out there. Okay, so these are important things that we have to be looking at, have to be considering over the next 24 hours. So I want to make sure that's very clear and that we're paying very close attention to it. So we have seen it's come out basically at expectations for God knows how long. But again, you would like to see, again, like back in December when it came out lower than expected, that's when things started to really move in the overall direction and get a nice pop into the beginning of the year. So again, PC will be very big. You have a little bit of Atlanta Fed, some other things. But again, the biggest thing here is going to be PCE, core PCE to be specific. Now, obviously, the market is coming down from this as well. Now, we look at broad markets. We look at what's hurting, what's holding up. Again, key levels we've been talking about for some time. If you guys aren't looking into charts, I really recommend focusing on the key levels that we mention here every single day. As you can see, we came back into the 524.6 level. You broke below it early this morning, rejected off it, pushing back down, right? So again, you're getting back below some of these massive levels. And again, these are just previous all-time highs that we're looking at. And as you can see, we're kind of finding resistance off those now. But what I will tell you is that none of this will matter as if we come out tomorrow and PCE comes out good, right? Now, the biggest thing I am watching to here is QQQ coming back into 449.7. That's another major level that we're watching here. And I think, again, that this could come down and hit this level very quickly if PCE does not come out decent. But I will say if PCE comes out bad and that shows inflation is spiking whatsoever, which I don't think it will, but if it does, you have to anticipate that you break, retest, and get a follow through towards that downside push. And that's what I'd be looking for there if PCE comes out bad. But again, based on recent data, and especially as we go into something like oil and crude and what's happening with energy, again, I have to anticipate that inflation is kind of moving back in the right direction, especially with what's happening. Now, again, what I will say over the next few weeks, if you want to just days, if you're watching and tracking, the 200 SMAs here, okay, your 200 daily, 200 weekly down here. If you start to break back below the 200 weekly, sellers will, in theory, right, according to your technicals, I don't want to say guaranteed, but sellers should step in aggressively. Also, too, what I will say, oil has bounced off the 200 SMA on the weekly for the past basically year and a half, okay? So I'm not betting on oil breaking down below, but if it does break down below, very good for inflation in my opinion, and overall inflation prices should start dropping as well, like they have in the past. If we've looked at any overall trend, anytime that we've started to see this little dip happen here is when the market has been its strongest, right? So again, October into early January, market went crazy. April, in April into now, market's been bouncing again back into highs. So again, things to consider. You go back here, the big drop here from June 2022 all the way into basically March 2023. Again, you really bottomed out once you started seeing the effects on DXY and the inflation reports in your September, October. But again, that's where the biggest push on the market kind of entailed or led into, right? So things that we're looking at right now, the US 30-year yield, again, these are all just measures to understand risk on versus risk off. And again, you're seeing that dip back down as well. So these are things that you want to see take place. But again, before we go into anything else, let's go into this.
And now let's briefly talk about my favorite investing app and the sponsor of today's video. If you're interested in trading the exact same broker in which I'm using for options, when I'm doing market research on, this is exactly who I'm using. This is Moomoo. This is their platform on their desktop. You can also check it out for the mobile app as well. This is their live news feed. And if you're thinking about making the switch, right now is a pretty good time because right now they're doing a 1.5% cash reward up to $300 if you transfer in. Or if you're just getting started and you want to kickstart your journey, Moomoo is giving you 5 in each of the Magnificent 7 stocks when you make a qualified bonus. You can go down and scroll and see all of this. It's right there on their website. Check them out. The link is down below.
Okay, so let's go really quickly into equities and what I'm looking at here. Now, number one, if PC comes out good, really quick, not an equity, but Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you right now, I just posted this on Twitter. If you're not following on Twitter, I recommend doing so. I tweet out my charts, my stocks I'm liking, updates, things like that. It's all free, so take advantage while you can. Okay, Bitcoin. This is the daily chart here. I think you look really good. Back above 69.2K. Again, very bullish over that level. Now, if PC comes out good, I do anticipate Bitcoin to start moving very quick. I also like what Ethereum is doing. holding this level. It's holding up a lot better than Bitcoin as well. We also know Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. Good things usually happen on the broad-based market. That's really important here. So I'll say all that to say this. Coinbase, I keep saying this. The first trade was over 238. You hold 238, you look really good back to the upside. You do look good. So you're holding that level so far. You look good. PC comes out. I think it's the confirmation you need. You're trading this back into 272, then 294. Going into the overall chain, get you guys excited. It's been a few days since I've started covering the chain. Let's talk. We go look at Coinbase. I like a little bit of time on my contracts. Dare I say, a little bit of time. July contracts look appetizing. Again, the 270s around $14 here. The spread's a little wide, but again, I like it. I like it a lot. The 300s, if you want to go a little bit cheaper, but again, these are contracts like you want to be a little bit riskier, you can go for June's, but again, 30 days expiration, not even. It's 22 days now. So again, know your risk, what you're taking on there. But again, I still like it. These things could skyrocket. I'm talking fast. So again, Coinbase, I like it. Again, tomorrow's very big, but you'll know before market open tomorrow, right? You're going to know with how the PC report comes out and how we move from there. So again, MicroStrategy is a more expensive alternative, but I still like MicroStrategy as well. Nvidia, like, dude, dear God. So today was a kind of a bad day for Nvidia. So if we go into Nvidia, if you were in the live Discord today, also too, live Discord will open up, I believe, is it tomorrow? On Saturday the 1st, you'll have Discord spots available if you're interested, so check it out. But yeah, so you actually had your breakout here today, but I was telling in Discord, I was like, I like it, it looks good, but the problem is the market wasn't moving with you. What do I mean by that? So really quick, let's actually go full screen here. So beginning of the day, first hour, you're moving up, trying to break out. But the problem was QQQ and SPY. Like this morning, QQQ was dropping the first hour. So what I always say, it's hard to be bullish on a specific stock if the market is moving in the opposite direction. All day long, the market's been pulling back, so I just haven't been doing much today because I'm net bullish still. I need a PCE tomorrow. So when I go back into NVIDIA, that's why I can't signal out a trade like this or start getting aggressive on this type if you're in Discord and you're wondering why. And ultimately what happens, NVIDIA rejects and pushes back down. So it's not a shocker or a surprise that NVIDIA pushes down when the rest of the market's pushing down either, right? So these are things you got to be watching. But right now you're coming back into 1118. We'll see what happens. You have a gap down here towards 1060. This could set up the opportunity for entries on NVIDIA. I'm not going to lie to you. I still think NVIDIA is a great company. I still think they're producing lots of numbers. I think the split's still bullish. So again, pretty cool. PC comes out really good, dropping. That could be a great opportunity for NVIDIA to push towards 1100. Things to be looking at. AMD. Guys, this is probably the easiest trade out there right now. I'm telling you right now. Basically, you short the rejection of 168.5. You go, you're aiming for targets of 164.5. You bounce off that level, ping pong, ping pong. This is what levels do, and this is how you make money off of them, guys. It's really that simple. And so it's been awesome here. You back and forth. You could have traded this a million times. Also, too, going to a few other names, Robinhood. I haven't given you an update on this one recently, but people always ask, like, why don't I cover the same names or go over them every single day sometimes? But, like, a name like Robinhood, like I keep saying, I have a 2026 position and a 2025. But, like, again, I'm not thinking of taking profits at least until $25, right? So, people were freaking out when we dipped to 16.5. Some people bought. Congratulations, right? Robinhood is not a shocker. The buyback makes sense. Everything they're doing makes sense. So, again, I think this thing could run towards $30 conservatively. But yeah, again, Robinhood's killing it. Congratulations if you play that name. Now, some other names, opportunistic names here, right? Got to talk to you guys about. I haven't talked to him recently. I don't know if I mentioned him yesterday or not. I say a lot, so we have to just kind of backtrack. Lululemon. This is your daily chart. This goes all the way back to 2020. You can see a major support between 285 down to 260, basically. Guys, I think it's a great company. The dip screams opportunity if I've ever seen one. We go into Lulu. Again, I think sometimes we always think options have to be short dated, a scalp, this and that. But you can look at options in the other viewpoint of a longer term investment for yourself as well. Not, do your own DD, but, it makes sense. Instead of buying $3,000 worth of stock in Lulu, I could maybe buy a $400, contract, right? Instead of putting $7,000 into an option or into stock, I could buy $7,000 worth of an in the money option at 310, basically, right? Different ways to view this, way of leveraging your money as well. Think of it that way. I like Lulu. I think they're a good company. I think they can bounce back. Makes a lot of sense to me. That's my personal opinion. Okay, I like them. Big opportunity. Another big one up here too is Ulta, and you gotta be watching this one. I showed this one to Jay today. This was your previous high in 2019 pre-COVID. As you can see, boom, right there. You hit it once, you're coming back down to it again. Few ways you can attack this. You can either obviously start loading a position down here, or you can wait to remount the 200 weekly and get that push back up once you break back above. So again, do what you want here. You haven't been below the 200 weekly since 2020 December. So yeah, I mean, the opportunity again, I'm liking these names. These are, we talked about Hood and people are like, well, when's the next Hood type play? Well, you're getting it now. We talked about Kava a while back. When are we getting the next play? Well, you might be getting it. Celsius, people are like, well, what do we do here? You're dipping back here on Celsius near 200 SMA, probably a great opportunity. But again, it's all about, you have to take a little bit of risk when you're finding these names, finding these setups, and that's how I'm viewing these guys. So again, I know I'm not going over too many day trades today, but again, this is what I like, this is what I love. I also think Apple's very strong into next week. It's holding off your support at 186, holding on your support at 190. Talk about a strong name, talk about a great chart. Apple continues to impress as well. So again, broad market, you still look fine, you still look good, even despite the dip you're seeing here. Some names that are getting hurt are Microsoft hurting off of that cloud information. So if data comes in tomorrow, good. I think Microsoft is a big buying opportunity back above 421. So definitely things you should be watching out and keeping an eye on for. But again, there's a lot of names out here, guys. And these are, when you start getting these dips here and you're going into big days like PCE, and this is happening before PCE, my eyes light up because these are the days that you can start really bringing in the money and setting up those opportunity days. Now, if PC comes up bad and we dip, awesome. I mean, in my opinion, like short term, is it awesome? No. But like, are you setting up for better dip buys? You are. Do I think the market's going to crash and fold and this and that like everyone thinks? I don't. So that's what I'm looking at right now. But as of right now, this is what I'm looking at. So I'm watching. But I will say, if PC comes out bad, I probably switch my day trading view to more of a downside approach. That's what I will do. But until that happens, I'm kind of a bull. So again, downside expectations, if we do have bad PCE, I think you're coming back down into around 18.4, 18.44 on NQ. And I think NQ needs to be your watch here. It has to be your watch. You can see end of the day, we're coming in here, 18.615. The big level has been holding. I think this level holds into the end of the day, but we'll see. PCE is tomorrow, so keep your head on a swivel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Twitter link, everything is down below. Check it out. See you guys. Have a good one, traders.